I saw it, so you have to as well. Sorry. Sweet dreams. I'm kidding. But yeah, I saw it, so you guys have to suffer too. I'm not going through this alone. But that's not what we're talking about here. I should just put this as like the thumbnail, but it's like talking about layoffs and everything. Um, Sweet dreams. Also, sorry to anyone who was eating or trying to drink something. Sorry. Actually, sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry. You probably had it coming. I did it. I'm glad. Glad I tell you. Um, so I've said this before. Um, and it's not gonna end anytime soon. So BioWare announces major reconstructing after trans disaster. Ubisoft internal or insider exposes internal Ubisoft layoff email. So during the course of, I mean, just this last month, um, BioWare's had to lay people off. Uh, Even more people lay off. Ubisoft has laid off or closed down another studio. So in just the past year, 2024, Blizzard had to do it. Ubisoft had to do it. EA did it. BioWare did it. I think Square might have had to do it. All these game companies who care more about this having to lay people off because the games aren't doing very well. So people will come on and say, when people talk about it online, like on Twitter or whatever, they'll say, oh my God, you people are mean and evil. You're celebrating individuals losing their jobs. Well, come here. It's people like you, people like this, who are working for these companies, and you are the reason that people are getting laid off because you care more about this than you do about writing a good character. So instead of having a black character who is engaging and a good, well-written character, take a character, you make them black, and then their entire personality is that they're black. You take a trans individual, and their entire personality will be that they're trans. And I think one of the best examples of this was from the Doctor Who 60th anniversary. That the Rose, Donna's daughter, proves my point. They took a character, she's trans, her entire personality is based around that she's trans. Everything she pretty much says, she lectures a doctor about being male presenting. Everything about this character is based around them being trans. That is not a good character. You want real, genuine representation, then you need to do better. But no, these people don't care about that. But exclusive insider exposes internal Ubisoft layoffs email. So how many more? I've said before, how many more good people get laid off before you fucking morons who keep defending these companies come out and say, hey, we're not going to put up with your bad writing anymore. We want representation, but what you're doing are just stereotypes and bad writing. We want actual representation, not people who are trans, but then their entire personality is that they're trans. Tosh, same thing. Terrible character. Non-binary, her entire thing is that she's non-binary. Demands that other people respect her identity while respecting no one else in return. Constantly whining about you don't know what it's like to not be comfortable with who you are and blah blah blah. Because that's these people who are paid however much are not creative enough to not only make diversity but make it well written. For them, it's one or the other. They can't do both. These intellectuals are incapable of making good, diverse characters. It's impossible. They can't do it. And because of that, the game suffers, or the movie suffers, or the TV show suffers, or the comic books suffer. Ubisoft, once a beacon of innovation creativity in the gaming industry many years ago, yeah, many years ago, has been continuing its steep decline with the recent announcement of significant studio closures and widespread layoffs throughout the company. Yeah, yeah, how bad is it when they have to close entire studios? But they're a success, right? These games that they're a success, right? Because I don't know what you're talking about, John. I like the game. You guys are just stupid fucking incel basement dweller chuds. Okay, then why are they closing studios if the game's so successful? Yeah, exactly. The company's struggles marked pretty clearly over an abundance of failed game launches, internal controversies. I mean, you have Ubisoft, who people said from inside the company that they're hiring people who have zero experience. They're putting people who have zero experience onto projects, not having them shadow someone, you know, watching how to. No, they're, oh, yeah, you're, get to work. But I don't have it, get to work. And then when you see something like, oh, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and you can't even pet the dog correctly, because yes, that is a thing. They were playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and whoever was in charge of programming the ability to pet a dog, they failed miserably at that. So either is it some person who was fresh and had no experience, or just an incompetent developer, employee, because being able to pet a dog should probably be like the first thing you learn there. And if you went to school for programming, that's probably like one thing they teach you is how to interact, program to interact with, things like that. Nope, couldn't even do that right. But sure, keep telling me that they're hiring nothing but the best, that they're hiring solely based on merit. Abundance of blah, 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 missteps have culminated into a series of actions that signals to everyone that they've entered a desperate attempt mode, trying to salvage what remains of their once gigantic and thriving empire. Everyone knows Ubisoft was huge back in the day. It was very big, very big. Everyone looked at them and said, wow, I can't believe how many games come out a year from Ubisoft. Very great games, very, very great games. It was the pinnacle of quality and fun. That's a big thing, fun. They were fun. But now they're just not very fun. I wonder. Oh God, it's the Burger King days are coming up. When I worked at Burger King, people were like, when I started doing the Trump impression, they were like, "Hey, what would Trump say about the burgers here?" So then President Trump has to step in and tell them what he thought about Burger King burgers. Ubisoft recently announced the closure of Ubisoft Leamington, a UK-based studio that had been part of Ubisoft, the Ubisoft family, since acquiring it from Activision back in 2017. It's a baby, essentially. It was a baby. All right, somebody get the hanger. Yeah, I went there. Originally back then known as Freestyle Games, Ubisoft Leamington employed around 50 dedicated professionals who contributed to massively failed titles like Star Wars Outlaws and Skull and Bones, which $150 million. $150 million to make. I mean, I think that's just to make it. That's not factoring in marketing, which is another like 100, 200 million. The shutdown of the studio not only marks the end of an era of the employees, but also goes to show that broader challenges Ubisoft has been facing while maintaining its portfolio of games while they crumble. Their hands are reaching up from the smoldering rubble, like, please look at our portfolio. And someone's standing there like, pathetic. Decision to shut down the Ubisoft Leamington team was part of a larger restructuring plan. It's all part of the plan. That's going to affect other Ubisoft offices, including those in Dusseldorf, yeah, the Stockholm and Newcastle upon Tyne, home to Ubisoft Reflections. Across all of these locations, a total of 185 employees. That's a lot. 185, that's a lot of people. Lots and lots of people. Good people, very fine people being laid off. They're being laid off. They're coming to work. They're coming to work, and people are saying, wait, you guys are fired. What are you doing here? And they're looking at them and saying, what do you mean we're fired? And they're like, didn't you get the memo? We told everyone that you're not supposed to come in. We are restructuring and letting go a lot of people. But here you go. Here's a small cup of lemonade and some Skittles. Or what was it? No. It was a glass of lemonade and a jelly bean. With that, the Willy Wonka experience. It's the unknown. You know that? Yeah, it was a glass of lemonade and a jelly bean, I think it was. Not a Skittle, it was a jelly bean. It's the unknown. Now, where was I? I get lost all the time. I'm trying to find where I was. Possible 185 employees that will be out of a job as the company seeks to reduce costs and prioritize projects that promise long-term stability by any means possible at this point. I guess that's life, you know. This reminds me of a nice summer day I was with my good friend Orville. Wow, John, you were all over the place today. I know, right? Amid the public announcements, I, along with my friend of the channel, Dimian, have also been contacted by an insider with exclusive info about additional layoffs from the Stockholm studio branch of Ubisoft. This individual, who I'll keep anonymous for obvious reasons, provided a screenshot from the internal Ubisoft email that sheds more light on the company. Did I read this one? I don't remember if I read it or not. Since they're French. Well, since they're French, should I read it like this? Like this? Dear team, as you all know, the past year has marked a significant challenges for Ubisoft in our industry. No, challenges that have necessitated changes in the form of targeted restructurings. Restructurings across our global organization and production studios. Together, we've navigated these uncertain times with resilience and an unwavering commitment to deliver. Oh! No. Why you always lying? Quit fucking lying. Deliver exceptional games and drive innovation. Please, Ubisoft, come here. Come here. What game have you released in just the last year that you would call exceptional? Come on, I'll wait. I'll wait. Come on, I'm waiting. What? I'm sorry. Sorry. You got to speak up. You guys are so far away. You guys are over there in what is it, Quebec or whatever, or France. Yeah, I know I think there's Ubisoft in Canada. There's one in France. There's one wherever else, UK, Germany. So you guys have got to speak up. I mean, I'm getting old. My hearing's not as good as it used to be. Oh, that's right. You didn't have a game this year that did that. Every game you put out failed. So what's this about exceptional games? Maybe back in the day. However, to secure our long-term stability and future success, we must continue to make some very difficult decisions. You want to know what a difficult decision might be? Having some of the team leads or some of the higher ups stepping down, because clearly they have no fucking clue what they're doing. That's what I would do. If I saw a company where I was in charge and I saw that my company was failing, I would look at the people leading the team, because the team is only as strong as the leader. If you have a leader that's messed up and doing things wrong, the team's going to fail. So I would start by firing the higher ups. No, don't want to do that, do we? This morning we announced a restructuring of our Stockholm studio. This decision was not made lightly. Yeah, I doubt that. However, it is necessary step to refine the studio strategy and secure long-term stability as they continue to worry about bankruptcy and all that. The Stockholm team plays a vital role in our future, and for their vision to succeed, we must create the right environment for their projects to thrive. We estimated that approximately 20 roles in the Stockholm studio may be impacted. Will that impact be of a Genshin variety or a Honkai variety? No. No, those are over in China. We know that this decision impacts more than just the studio and projects. It impacts people, our colleagues, teammates, and friends. We deeply understand how difficult this is, and we are crying right now as I wipe my tears with dollar bills. How this is, and supporting everyone through this transition is our utmost priority. We are committed to providing severance packages tailored to individual circumstances, career transition resources, which I really hope that these good people who are being laid off, because this is news. I mean, people at other corporations obviously use Twitter and all that, and I hope these people, the good people who just tried to show up and do their job, I hope they get picked up immediately. I hope someone reaches out through email or Twitter, private on Twitter, says, "Hey, we heard what happened to you. We've seen your portfolio. We'd love for you to come work with us." So I hope the people who are affected get back into the business and get back on their feet as soon as possible. And again, I would be laying off the higher ups, because again, your team is only as strong as the team lead. If you have bosses or higher ups who are shit, things aren't going to be done properly, and therefore the quality of the product is going to be shit. So start with the higher ups. The ones there clearly have no freaking clue what they're doing. So instead of laying off good freaking people who just tried to do the best they could, how about laying off the higher ups who force them to make stupid changes like, "Oh, we gotta make them black. We gotta be diverse. We gotta push representation because that's what our company promises." Well-being support to provide emotional and professional guidance. You can't even guide yourself. There's no way you're gonna be able to help anyone else. You can't even help your company stay afloat. What could you possibly offer these people who are now going to suffer because you care more about stupid shit? Updates from Zone for today. In addition to the restructuring announcement in Stockholm, similar effects have also been shared today with Zone 4 in Germany. Ubisoft Dusseldorf has announced around 65 positions that may be redundant. Meanwhile, in the UK, we see the closure of Ubisoft Leamington site and around 100 roles proposed to be made redundant across Ubisoft Leamington and Ubisoft Reflections. A global update on this will be available through the article on Agora, which will be published around noon tomorrow. Moving forward. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. As we move forward after today's news, we like to take a moment to reflect, and I'm sure gonna miss you guys. I'll use that later. The sweet swell of money. I'm gonna miss you guys. Forwarding to after today, I want to thank you all. Your resilience, creativity, and passion are what make our zone extraordinary. As we work through this transition, Too easy. Not gonna, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's continue to support each other and stay focused on the path ahead. Together, I am confident we will emerge stronger, ready to deliver on the bold ambitions we have been building. If you have any questions or concerns, we don't fucking care. Now, please don't hesitate to reach out to your manager, HR, or me directly. What? So you can say, oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What are you going to do? What do you do? Like, what are you going to do about it? What good are your words going to do? Is it going to give him a job? I seriously doubt that. It's pretty tiny writing. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything. Skull and Bone, yeah, Skull and Bones reportedly estimated to have cost Ubisoft between 650 and 850 million over a decade. 10 years. And that, I think that's just the cost of making it. Again, that's not factoring in marketing, which again is like another 100, 200 million. So this is like $1 billion game possibly. And didn't even come close to making anything back. People didn't play it. I was shocked to hear about Ubisoft's layoffs and studio closures. It's sad to see such a gaming giant struggle. Job cuts like these remind me of how unstable industries can be. When I face challenges in my studio, I make sure to seek help. If I ever need to buy statistic assignments, I turn to my experts for accuracy. Well, I think it's official. With these closures and layoffs, Ubisoft is on death. Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty much hoping that Assassin's Creed Shadows will be like their saving grace. It's not. They think that Assassin's Creed Shadows will get people back into make them interested in the company again, and stock will go back. It's not going to happen. So we could very well be witnessing the end of Ubisoft. I mean, it's a shame. The company's been around for so long, but this is the repercussion. I mean, every action has an equal and negative reaction, or positive in some cases. But for here, yeah, it's a negative reaction. They do a lot of bad. You're gonna get bad in return. And it's a shame because it's the good people who get laid off, not the higher ups who are screwing things up. The people, the grunts, you and me and all that. Those types of people who go in and just try to do the best that they can, and they're the ones getting laid off. They're the ones having to suffer. So, yeah, between that, restructuring at BioWare, all these companies, all these amazing companies that used to be, like these pinnacles of the gaming industry. Look at them now. Layoffs after layoffs after layoffs. It all because they're so focused on the shit that doesn't matter, the DEI. Because these people who claim to be college educated aren't smart or creative enough to make diverse characters that are well written. Instead, again, they'll just take a black person, and their entire character will be that they're black. Oh, they're non-binary. Well, guess what? They don't have any real character to speak of. They're going to mention that they're non-binary every 5 seconds, and their entire thing is going to be how they identify. So, this is what happens when you hire activists and not gamers. You get a bunch of crap. You get a bunch of posh type characters and doing it to yourself. We've been telling you for ages how to help and how to make things better, but we get called phobics and isms. We don't want to see these companies go out of business, and we would love to see games be returned to what they were, but no one wants to listen. Instead, people rather keep fucking sucking the cocks of these companies and acting like everyone else is in the wrong and not these companies. Not the companies writing these characters, these terrible characters, and releasing buggy games and giving us bad story and expecting us to pay $70, $80 of our hard-earned money on it. No, 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 no. It's the gamer. It's always the gamer. It's always the gamer. Not the people in charge, not the people making the game, the gamer. Every time. So, you know, modern gaming. If Ubisoft does go out of business or whatever, they had a good run. They had a good run. BioWare, I hope you're next. I hope you're next. BioWare is hoping on Mass Effect to be kind of their saving grace. I seriously doubt that. BioWare probably will suffer the same fate as Ubisoft. And then 2 down, and then shortly after that, like the domino effect, all these big companies will just slowly start to fade out of existence because they care more about the diversity and pushing an agenda than they do about making a good game. So, oh well. We had a good, 40 years of video games. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.